Good evening and welcome to the 4th Annual Arlington Cares. My name is Lisa Fikes and I'm the Executive Director of Volunteer Arlington, and I'm so pleased to welcome you all here tonight. Our event looks a little bit different this year, but I can assure you that the same spirit that you've experienced the past 3 years is still there, alive and well. You know, the past 4 months has had its fair share of challenges, but in the midst of that all, there's so much good news in the world, and that's what we want to celebrate tonight. I am completely inspired and amazed by the stories that we're going to share with you tonight of individuals who have truly made a difference in our community. Their stories are all different ages, different causes, different passions, but you can see a similar thread in everything that they do. They listened to the needs of their community and they cared about making a difference. Their stories are inspiring to me, and I'm so excited to share them all with you tonight. In addition to being inspired through their stories, there are a couple different ways where you can be engaged tonight, and we hope that you will do that. Through our social media channels, if you're watching on Facebook or on YouTube, please feel free to interact. Congratulate the award winners. Share your thoughts. If there's a particular cause that you care about, or organization you work with, tag them so that potentially other people might be inspired and want to follow your lead in service with that organization. We also have a way that you can be engaged through our Buy a Neighbor Groceries program. You might have heard of our Buy a Neighbor Lunch program, which was wonderful and connected restaurants and food with some of our local organizations that are serving populations in need. We realized in the midst of that many of our neighbors could really benefit from grocery gift cards. And so we launched Buy a Neighbor Groceries that began a few weeks ago. And we've already had over $6,000 in donations, thanks to some seed money from FMI, a local trade association in Arlington, as well as other donors from the community. And we thought it might be fun for people in the midst of the event tonight to be able to interact and connect. So if you're interested in donating, whether it's $5, $10, or whatever the amount might be, all of the money that we raise tonight will go towards our Buy a Neighbor Groceries program, which will directly serve some of our family shelters, some of our PTA organizations that are working directly with families in need, as well as some of our faith communities. So let me tell you how to do it. My family will tell you, I'm a little bit IT challenged, but if I can do it, you can do it as well. All you have to do is go to your phone, and we're going to show some instructions for you to let you know how to do it. You text the number on your screen, 970-840-9000. And within the message, all you have to do is put Arl Cares, and then a space, the amount you would like to donate, and then your name. And if you'd like to be anonymous, that's not a problem. You can just leave that portion blank. But again, all you have to do is text that number, put the Arl Cares. I will tell you, I tested this yesterday, and be careful with spell check because my original one read as Arc Cares. But it's Arl Cares with a space, and then the amount, and then your name. And it'll be fun to watch the Fundometer. All of the names of the donations will show live tonight. So our hope is that in addition to being inspired by these wonderful stories, that you'll have a chance through this virtual experience to come together, to interact with one another through social media, and to share, if you'd like to, towards our Buy a Neighbor Groceries program that will directly help those neighbors who are in need. And that's really what Volunteer Arlington is about. We are a public-private partnership between Arlington County and the Leadership Center for Excellence. I'm so grateful to my team at the county, specifically to the group at Department of Human Services, Emergency Management, and Libraries that I've been working with closely. Really appreciate those teams there. And then to my team at the Leadership Center. We've got such an amazing group of people. An amazing staff, M2M Consulting, and VCAS that's helping us out tonight with this virtual event. So big call of thanks to them for their leadership and work. And I'd be remiss not to give a special thanks and call out to my boss, my colleague, and my friend Karen Coltrane, the president of the Leadership Center for Excellence. And it's my honor to share her with you right now if you haven't had a chance to meet her already. Thanks, Karen.
Thank you for joining us for the 4th Annual Arlington Cares event and the first ever virtual format. I'd like to offer a special thank you to the Shushan Company for their continued support of Volunteer Arlington. Their support lets us connect Arlingtonians to our vibrant nonprofit community and facilitates the magic that happens when we give our skills and time to others. I also want to thank the Arlington County leaders who are able to join us here tonight. Virginia State Senator Barbara Frivola, representing the 31st District, Virginia Delegate Patrick Hope, representing the 47th District, Virginia Delegate Mark Levine, representing the 45th District, Libby Garvey, Arlington County Board Chair, and her fellow board members, Katie Crystal, Christian Dorsey, and Matt DeFerranti. And a very special thanks to Renee Cutshall and her family, who will be joining us later this evening to present the Eric Cutshall Family Service Award in honor of her late husband, Arlington County Board Member, Leadership Arlington graduate, and our friend, Eric Cutshall. For over 20 years, the Leadership Center has worked to inspire and connect people from all corners of Arlington through leadership development and community building. Whether you are an established leader, a young professional, or a high school student looking to expand your capacity to lead, I invite you to learn more about our programs at leadercenter.org. And Volunteer Arlington, a public-private partnership between the Leadership Center and Arlington County, is yet another way we seek to bring people together for the good of our community. Supporting over 250 nonprofit and county partners, Volunteer Arlington strives to serve as a connection hub for people of all ages who want to be civically engaged. Tonight, you will see a representation of the many Arlingtonians who give their time and talent to make our community stronger. We're excited to honor those individuals in the hope that this event serves as an inspiration to us all to find our own way to lift up others in our community. Thank you for celebrating with us. It is now my pleasure to introduce an inspiring lady herself who could never have envisioned what local leadership in 2020 would mean, but yet is showing us what values-infused leadership looks like in action. Please welcome Libby Garvey, Arlington County Board Chair.
Thank you to the Leadership Center for Excellence for holding this virtual Arlington Cares event to honor our 2020 Community of Service Award winners. You know, I don't think volunteerism has ever been more important than it is today. And one of the things I've always loved about Arlington is its volunteer community spirit. It really is a wonderful thing always. And in March, when the COVID-19 pandemic really hit, it was wonderful to see how the extensive volunteer network that we've been building up over time, over a long period of time, really kicked in and began to even change and expand in whole new ways that are really very much needed. So thanks to volunteers, we've been able to pretty much feed everyone in Arlington that needed food and needs food. We're continuing to do that. And we've been able to pretty much make sure that everybody that needs help keeping a roof over their heads gets the financial assistance they need to keep in their homes. The needs have really been growing quickly. And I want to point out that volunteers have been doing more than just food and shelter, or meeting those kinds of needs. They've also been supplying things like diapers. And when you need diapers, you really need diapers. And they've been providing much needed COVID testing and contact tracing, which is so crucial right now. So as we leave the critical crisis stage of the pandemic and enter into the chronic crisis stage of the pandemic, the new and old volunteer networks that everybody in on this call has been building for a long time are absolutely crucial and much needed. And I'm so glad we're celebrating them today. You know, last but not least, I want to call out the volunteers who help advise us on our policies and their implementation. That's part of the Arlington way. It's been with us for a long time, but it really has always built the foundation we have for community involvement and connection that makes us resilient through whatever crises come and through this pandemic as well. So thank you to our advisory commissioners and council members. Thank you so much for what you do. You know, I want to call out the census volunteers. What a year to be trying to do a census. You're more crucial than ever. Thank you. And thank you to new groups that are stepping up, like Neighbors Helping Neighbors and the Arlington Community Corps. It's great to see this spirit of volunteerism kind of form in whole new ways to meet the challenges that we've got today in 2020. Thank you to the Medical Reserve Corps. We probably need you now more than ever. Thank you to our PTAs and faith communities who've always been with us and always been such an important part of our volunteer community. But you too are reforming and innovating and doing things differently and really stepping up to help during this pandemic. And I'd like to recognize and thank our county staff, many of whom are also reforming and innovating and doing things differently. Some of whom are doing jobs they've never done before, and some of them are doing 2 and even 3 jobs to keep things going during the pandemic as we need to do. So that's really crucial as well. And finally, thanks to everybody in Arlington for what you're doing. So many people have been doing things. There have been large volunteer efforts, I know, but there have been quiet efforts where somebody just picks up the phone to check on a neighbor, calls a friend, somebody they haven't heard from for a while, just to see how they're doing. And those calls can really make a difference in somebody's life during this difficult time. So really want to thank everyone for what you're doing. Again, thank you to the Leadership Center for Excellence for holding this very important ceremony right now. Volunteers are more crucial than ever. And as we move forward into the chronic stage of this crisis, I fully expect our volunteer efforts to continue to increase and grow and innovate as they need to. You know, I tell people there's nowhere else on earth I'd rather be during this pandemic than right here in Arlington County, and much of that is because of the incredible volunteer spirit we've got. So thank you everybody for what you're doing. Really appreciate it. It makes this community what it is, and I look forward to the awards ceremony now today. Thanks so much.
Television personality Fred Rogers once remembered, "When I was a boy and I would see scary things in the news, my mother would say to me, 'Look for the helpers. You will always find people who are helping.'" Since the beginning of the COVID crisis, and in spite of the need to keep distance from one another, people of all ages have found ways to be the helpers. The needs of our neighbors have grown, and volunteers have worked daily to individually and collectively care for our community. Neighbors have gotten sick, but heroes have worked tirelessly to give them the care they deserve. Neighbors have felt isolated, but hearts have found a way to let them know that they're not alone. Neighbors have been hungry or scared, and we've been reminded of the miraculous generosity of the human spirit. Neighbors have continued to be victims of systemic racism, and voices continue to demand justice. We have always known of the power and value of caring for others. It's always had an impact on both the recipient and the giver. But in times such as these, we are reminded more than ever that we all need the helpers, and we all can be the helpers. And when the world might seem darker than normal, we must look for the helpers and celebrate the good news that they are and that they bring to our lives. Thanks for being a community of helpers, Arlington. Arlington is filled with helpers. For years, I've seen an army of people who would come together at the drop of a hat and want to help, do whatever they could to make a difference. And as our friends at the Pentagon and at Fort Myer would say, every good army needs a good general. Volunteer managers are the generals of volunteer engagement. Their role is crucial, whether it's paid or unpaid, in recruiting, in supporting, and in celebrating volunteers. And our next award holds up that role and celebrates that role, the Volunteer Arlington Award. I'm so excited about who we've asked to present this award tonight. She is the rock star of civic engagement throughout the globe. She is the president and CEO of Points of Light, Natalie Paquin, and she graciously agreed to present our Volunteer Arlington Award tonight. If you're not familiar with Points of Light is a global network that brings together volunteer centers all around the world, and Volunteer Arlington is part of that network. I can speak personally and say that they've been a huge support to us in thinking about and reflecting on best practices and knowing how we can best support our over 250 nonprofits here in the area. So please join me in welcoming Natalie Paquin virtually to Arlington, Virginia.
Thank you, Lisa. I'm so honored to celebrate with Volunteer Arlington and the amazing people who help make your communities vibrant. Points of Light is a global nonprofit that works in 200 cities across 37 countries. We inspire, equip, and mobilize people to take action that changes the world. Through our global network, we mobilize 5 million people and 14 million hours of service. At Points of Light, we believe the most powerful force of change is the individual who strives to make a positive difference. Today, we're on the cusp of a new era, a time when generations will look back and see an era of sustained, meaningful engagement. We're calling this the civic century, and there's a role for all of us to play, individuals, nonprofits, and businesses. We must work collectively to create the world where barriers to engagement are gone, where every individual can easily support causes they care about, a world where it is impossible to sit on the sidelines of positive change. We believe in the power of people and the power of the best in people, and we're honored to celebrate the work of a person who exemplifies this through their work. The Volunteer Arlington Award recognizes a volunteer coordinator who has done exceptional work with volunteer engagement. I'm pleased to present the annual Volunteer Arlington Award to Alix Gavin. Alix is the youth manager at Bridges to Independence, which leads people out of homelessness into stable, independent futures. Alix helped the program's youth build confidence and leadership skills as she worked with them on their college and career exploration, supported them in their community service, and taught them about health and wellness. Her job is a programmatic position. However, Alix saw an opportunity to cultivate volunteer engagement and took advantage of it. Alix knew that the best way to make a difference with the youth was to recruit volunteers to support their journey. It was important for Alix to remind the youth that their neighbors cheered for them and believed in them. And in turn, she knew that the lives of the volunteers would be changed by having the chance to meet and learn from some amazing kids. So Alix expanded the programs to include skilled volunteers who tutored, helped them with homework assignments, and difficult subjects. The intent was to customize academic support to individual needs. She also created a summer internship program where volunteers from the business community hosted job shadowing opportunities. The youth were able to learn about a variety of careers. Building on these connections in the business community, Alix created volunteer opportunities for mentors to provide soft skill training for the youth. All of these efforts were crucial to accomplishing the purpose of the program, breaking intergenerational poverty. This level of volunteer engagement creates a winning combination for youth and volunteers. Everyone evolves through the process. Alix, thank you for making a difference, and congratulations on receiving the 4th Volunteer Arlington Award.
Hi! First, I would like to thank Rsvp and at Volunteer Arlington and my amazing organization, Bridges to Independence, for this award. I feel like I won an Oscar, but even better, so thank you guys so much. For those unfamiliar with Bridges to Independence, we're a nonprofit organization right here in Arlington. Our mission is to lead individuals and families out of homelessness into independent, stable futures. And we're able to do that through housing services, shelter services, employment services, and youth services, which is what I do. I find myself to be extremely lucky in the work that I do because unfortunately, youth that are homeless are more likely to experience it again in adulthood. And the goal of Bridges to Independence youth program is to prevent that cycle of homelessness and poverty through initiatives that serve the family as a whole. The way I see it is we are leveling the playing field. We're getting our kids to the starting line of this crazy thing that we call life. But none of that would be possible without our amazing volunteers. They go above and beyond while sharing the same passion I do. They don't judge or boast, but they empower some of the most vulnerable in our community. So I don't know if you can tell, but I've never had to write or record an acceptance speech before, and I feel really silly doing so because I don't believe that this just belongs to me. I believe that it belongs to the families and the kids that I serve, the volunteers that serve us, and my amazing coworkers. They're the type of people that will always ask, what more can I do? And I think now, more than ever, that is so important. I would like to end everything with a Maya Angelou quote. People will forget what you said. People will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. So for all of those people, all those volunteers, all those families, all those amazing coworkers, you may not be able to see the end result, but you are making a difference and you are making a change. And please continue to advocate for others to be able to be part of that change. Thank you, guys.
Congratulations, Alix. So well deserved. You know, there's so many ways to engage civically, and Points of Light reminds us of the fact that it's not just around volunteerism. Civic engagement is so much bigger and broader than that. It could start with voting, advocacy work, purchasing power, a variety of different things. And in the midst of COVID, we've been reminded that volunteers aren't necessarily always in person. They can be virtual volunteers. We've had many people working on supply donations and giving them to our nonprofit and county organizations. We've had people become volunteers and advocate for the causes that they care about. And even in the midst of those physical volunteer opportunities, you've got a variety of ways that people can engage. A term that I learned about recently that I found fascinating was micro-volunteering. So even just from a simple act that might even only take a minute or two, signing a petition, sharing a post on Facebook, you can make a difference. Magnify that beyond the micro-volunteering, beyond the one-day volunteering, all of which are wonderful things to do. And think about those people who say, you know what, I'm going to commit to an organization, to a passion, to a cause for a long time, for a committed length of time. And that's who we're about to celebrate now. We have a group of people here in Arlington who have committed and given over 100 hours of service to the organizations in which they've served. And we don't even have them all tracked. So keep that in mind as we go through this little exercise. There are so many people who say, I want to commit and serve for a long time, over 100 hours. So let's do some quick math. For those of you who are doing homeschooling, like my husband and I are right now with our third grader, I've been brushing up on my multiplication recently. The value of volunteer time, as stated by Virginia, for 1 hour of service is $27.50. So that's for 1 hour. Magnify that times 100 hours, and that's $2,750. Harper, check my math on that. That they served and that they saved that organization, ultimately saved our county. The people we're about to recognize, and there are 324 of them that have served 19 organizations, have together served over 32,400 hours. Do the math on that one, and that is $891,000 that have been saved and given to our local nonprofit and county organizations. That's significant. But it's not just about the dollars. Think about the relationships that have been built from these volunteers giving of their time steadily and consistently. The relationships that have been built with the organization and with the causes that they serve. Whether they're helping people coming out of incarceration, whether they're working a crisis hotline, whether helping people who are victims of domestic violence, or tutoring and serving children. Those relationships make an impact and they make a difference. So please join me. At this point, we're now going to honor those people and take a moment to thank them for their service. Arlington County Department of Human Services, Arlington County Everyone Counts Committee, Arlington County Public Libraries, Arlington Employment Center, AFAC. And we know that list is long. They've been working hard recently, and we really appreciate all that they've been doing in the midst of the COVID crisis. Arlington Free Clinic, Arlington Neighborhood Village, Bonder and Amanda Johnson, CDC, Bridges to Independence, Capital Caring, Cherrydale Health and Rehabilitation Center, Culpeper Garden, Doorways, Marymount Saint Service Center, OAR, Our Lady Queen of Peace, Phoenix Bikes, PRS, Virginia Insurance Counseling and Assistance Program, otherwise known as VICAP. Okay, so from the comfort of your own homes, let's give them all a round of applause. We thank you so much for your commitment and for your service. Our next award is the Youth Service Award, and I'm excited to invite James Sample, who is the Equity and Excellence Coordinator at Washington Liberty High School, to present this award.
I am so happy to be here today to give out this amazing award. The Youth Service Award is given to a young person who has chosen to go above and beyond service hour requirements. This award celebrates initiative, finding a passionate cause, and creating a way to make a significant impact on the lives of those other than oneself. This year, I am so happy to give this award to Kristen Elaine. This is one of the most amazing, well-rounded students that I have worked with in over my 20 years at Washington Liberty High School. This bright light was first seen participating and organizing the school Black History program. She penned a very powerful program about the contentious name change. This truly brilliant dialogue opened up the discussion and helped the school grapple with this decision head on. This propelled her to become a social justice warrior and a person that planned and organized the school Black History program every year. She became president and rebooted the Black Student Union, and she volunteered at her church. Kristen's bright light shines on a day-to-day in class, on the track team, but most of all guiding and supporting younger students. She can be seen in the hallway, in the classroom, helping kids academically, but also just through day-to-day challenges of life. And Kristen is one of the 3 Arlington High School students chosen to serve on the MOK Advisory Council. She was instrumental in the development of the program. Yet another reminder of her powerful voice and commitment to service. I am overjoyed in honoring Kristen with the Youth Service Award. She's off to George Mason. I'm sure she'll continue to give to Northern Virginia, the Arlington community, and the overall global world. Thank you for all that you have done for us. God bless.
Thank you, Leadership Center for Excellence and Volunteer Arlington. I am delighted to be the 2020 recipient of the Volunteer Arlington Youth Service Award. Volunteering has always played an integral role in my life. From a very young age, my parents, especially my mother, instilled in me the importance of giving back to my community and paying it forward. At that time, I did not know that giving back to my community was an important facet of volunteerism. But I took my parents' every word to heart, and thus began my volunteerism journey. I started really small at first, and would just volunteer at local churches. But as I transitioned into my high school years, I joined clubs and organizations that helped me to become a more active volunteer. Luckily, in my last 2 years of high school, I was able to create clubs and campaigns that helped my peers and my friends become active volunteers as well. Before I leave today, I would like to leave everyone here with a quote by author Elizabeth Andrews. She states, "Volunteers do not necessarily have the time, but they have the heart." And I couldn't help but remember how happy I was when I was volunteering. So I encourage everyone listening today to have empathy and love for those in their communities, because that will ensure that you are a better volunteer. I'm so excited to see what the next generation of volunteers will look like, and I would like to send a special thank you to Reverend Dr. Yolanda Smith of Mount Zion Baptist Church, Mr. James Sample of Washington Liberty High School, Miss Lisa Fikes of Volunteer Arlington, and my mother, Joy Elaine, as they all helped me to become the volunteer that I am today. I'm so excited to have received this award. Thank you very, very much. Bye.
Congratulations, Kristen. You're a wonderful example of reminding us that it's never too early to get started in volunteer service. So I just heard from our M2M communications team and from VCAS that we have over 3,500 viewers. That's amazing. I am so excited and welcome you all if you're just now joining us. That's a big, big change from our last events where we had around 350. So no pressure here, but we really are glad that you're all joining us. Thanks for being here. Let's take a look at the Fundometer check-in. This is awesome. So many wonderful gifts. We so much appreciate all of you who are giving tonight and being a part of making a difference to our neighbors who are hungry and in need. A quick reminder of how to make that gift if you're just now tuning in and would like to be a part of this. The number to text is 970-840-9000. And just as a reminder, when you write within the message, you'll write Arl Cares with a space after that, the amount you would like to donate with a space after that, and then your name. Also, if you would like to say you're doing this in honor of someone or in memory of someone or in recognition of one of the award winners, feel free to add that as well. But thanks already to all of those who have already been giving. We really do appreciate it. So our next award is the Family Service Award. And this year we decided to change the name in honor of Arlington County Board Member Eric Cutshall, who tragically died this past year. So the award has been renamed this year, the Eric Cutshall Family Service Award. We could remember so many wonderful things in ways that Eric will be remembered and his legacy will be remembered from all of the wonderful ways he served our community. But what Karen and I wanted to do tonight was to recognize the way that he and his wife, Renee, served their own family and served their own children by passing on that legacy of service to others. So it is my honor and my joy to welcome Renee and her 3 children, Ava, Marlena, and Adam. You won't see Adam because Adam is taping on the other side of the video to present the Eric Cutshall Family Service Award.
Hi, we are the Cutshall family, and we're honored to be part of Volunteer Arlington's award ceremony. Eric and I have instilled in our family the importance of volunteering and giving to our community, whether it be local or global, with our time and talents, even in small ways. We are humbled that Volunteer Arlington has named this award for Eric. The 2020 Eric Cutshall Family Service Award is given to a family who has made caring and volunteerism a core value.
The recipients of this year's award are the Parish family for their service with Bridges to Independence.
The Parish family truly embodies the bridge builder spirit, which is to come together as a community to build a bridge of opportunity for those in need. Through Bridges to Independence Lemonade Stand and the Martin Luther King Day of Service scavenger hunt with Bridges, Gil, Mike, Hannah, and Lucy learned about the needs of some of their neighbors.
Gil and Mike wanted to instill the opportunity of sharing and volunteering at a young age. They decided to transform these one-time experiences into an ongoing family cause, and their relationship with Bridges grew from that point.
Hannah, age 6, collected pennies, quarters, and any spare coins by inviting her carpool friends to participate in supporting her cause, Bridges to Independence. Then her sister Lucy, age 9, asked for diapers and other personal supplies for the Bridges shelter in lieu of presents on her 9th birthday.
Most recently, the parish family put together anti-boredom bundles that included crayons, pencils, and other activities to keep Bridges youth occupied while staying home. These family acts of kindness clearly have an impact on the people and the organizations they serve. Additionally, there is a mutual benefit of reminding each family member of a value that is collectively held. The parish family understands that, and so it is with great joy that we celebrate with them tonight. Congratulations to the parish family.
Hi, we're the parish family. I'm Gillian.
I'm Lucy. I'm Hannah.
And I'm Mike.
And we just wanted to say a very special thanks to Volunteer Arlington and Bridges to Independence. We first recognized Bridges to Independence when we did a lemonade stand with our friend Harper, raising money for Bridges to Independence.
And then we volunteered at the MLK Day of Service, and we got to know a lot more about the organization. And we're so impressed by the wonderful things it does for the families and residents and for the community, and we were excited to help out.
One of the reasons that I love volunteering so much is giving back to my community. Taking something that I have and giving it to others puts a smile on other people's face, and that's put a smile on my face.
I like volunteering because it makes me happy. Giving something to someone else, it makes their day, but it also makes my day.
Thanks to Bridges and Volunteer Arlington for recognizing the parish family.
Congratulations, parish family. Our next award is the Rsvp Service Award, given to an individual who is 55 years or older, who has used their skills and interests to make a valuable, lasting impact on the community. I want to thank Maimuna Ba-Duckenfield, Division Chief of Arlington County Aging and Disabilities Services, who's here to present this award.
Hi, I'm Maimuna Ba-Duckenfield with Aging and Disability Services of Arlington County's Department of Human Services. It is a true honor and privilege to be able to participate in this year's Volunteer Recognition Award ceremony. When I think of volunteers over the age of 55, I think of the ones that have been our solid, committed, tenacious experts in the field of aging services, whether we have the volunteers that support our Commission on Aging, our Meals on Wheels program, our guardianship program, or our Medicare counseling programs. We truly have an exceptional volunteer program of Arlingtonians who commit their time and resources to make sure that we're better off and that Arlington County is better off because of what they do. The Rsvp Award represents the efforts of the Rsvp Northern Virginia program. Rsvp, which stands for Retired Service Volunteer Program, is America's largest volunteer network for people age 55 and older. Rsvp is a program of the Senior Corps of the Corporation for National and Community Service, and Rsvp Northern Virginia is sponsored by Volunteer Fairfax in partnership with Volunteer Arlington and Volunteer Alexandria. This award is given to an individual who is 55 or older and has used their skills and interests to make a valuable, lasting impact in our community. The recipient of Volunteer Arlington's Rsvp Service Award is Virginia Ball. Virginia, by foray, is the fairy godmother of Von Ball, a CRI group home in Arlington that supports men with mental health needs. The house, which supports individuals, is named after her late husband, Von Ball, who was CRI's board president and advocate to individuals with mental disabilities since the 1980s. Virginia has always had a generous nature. Being a foster mother and a former Arlington County social worker, when she returned to the DC metro area in 2017, Virginia wanted to re-engage with the Von Ball Home and Residences. Virginia is the type of person who leaves a trail of generosity wherever she goes. She invites residents, friends, and family to join her at fundraising events, volunteering in the garden, and celebrations at the home. However, Virginia's greatest gift to those who live at Von Ball is not the cakes, the flowers, the magazines, or the games. It's choice. Typically, those who come into the Von Ball program have struggled with control or the lack of it. They struggle with controlling what's going on in their head and the medication they take. They have been around a system where all these recommendations have been presented without much explanation, so they forget that they have the ability to choose. Throughout their lives, other people have been choosing for them by those advocates or doctors, making it such that they forget that they have control over the choices that they are being made. Enter Virginia. Her regular monthly check-ins are a reminder to these gentlemen that they are cared for. She is constantly asking their opinions and what their needs, likes, and wants are. When Virginia had the idea to reinvigorate the backyard garden, she asked the individuals what they wanted to see planted. Every little thing that Virginia does for gentlemen at Von Ball reminds them that they have the freedom to make their own choices. She treats them as adults, acknowledging their independence by asking rather than imposing. Through these efforts, the residents at Von Ball have found joy in what may seem like small occurrences like dinners and pizza parties, but really are big victories. Please join me in welcoming Virginia Ball Biafore to accept this award. Thank you.
More than 40 years ago, my family was living in the Westover neighborhood. My husband, Von Ball, was asked by a neighbor to speak to the county board requesting approval for a group home for emotionally handicapped adults. His response to the many concerns people brought up was to say that he had 6 little girls at home and that he did not fear for their safety. That was a sure way to become chairman of the board for group homes. Fundraising at that time consisted of bake sales and rummage sales and even a donated old junk car. Vaughn became a strong fundraiser. He died young, but he had donations to ACRI at the church at his funeral. Later, I remarried and moved away. After 24 years, I moved back to Arlington. At age 80, I wanted to do something useful and non-physical. I live 8 blocks from the Von Ball group home and 8 male residents. I decided to provide birthday cakes for each resident. They provide the cake preference. I order and deliver from Heidelberg Bakery. The staff and residents had no history of my family involvement. They were originally quite cautious. Daughter Mary has joined with me to provide physical efforts that are getting to be too much. We have planted a flower bed and vegetable garden, and we have provided food for the Easter dinner as the residents could not go home and we feared they might infect a grandparent. I was concerned about the counselors who were working and having to cook a big dinner. I appreciate the many important relationships that have evolved, and am amazed at the recognition. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your service, Virginia. If you are interested in getting involved with RSVP, I would encourage you to take a look at our website at volunteerarlington.org or to give us a call at 703-528-2522. Let's take a quick look at the Fundometer. I heard from our team, oh my goodness, we really have. We have way surpassed our goal, which is amazing and a really good thing. It's going to mean that we're going to be able to provide that many more gift cards to the shelters in need, to the PTAs that are working with families, and to the faith communities. So thank you. And you don't have to stop now, because the more we raise, the more we will be able to give. Thank you. Thank you so much for your support. Our next award is the Distinguished Corporate Service Award. And joining us tonight to present that award is Elizabeth Jones Valderrama, who is the Executive Director of OAR and also happens to be a board member of the Leadership Center. Thanks for joining us, Elizabeth.
This honor is given to a private Arlington business or corporation or an employee volunteer group thereof that through volunteerism has shown outstanding commitment and care to the citizens of Arlington County. The recipient of Volunteer Arlington's Distinguished Corporate Service Award goes to Arlington Community Federal Credit Union. For ACSCU, volunteerism starts at the very top with an all-volunteer board. Leadership who donates their time and expertise serving on boards and committees of the community organizations. And the spirit of volunteerism goes through the organization at every level. Motivated by their core values, ACFCU supports the community in various ways. Through their full-time dedicated position of the Community Involvement Ambassador and their Arlington Community Volunteer Program, employees volunteer in the community to benefit Arlingtonians. ACFCU believes this builds a stronger community while encouraging their employees to find their passion and to serve. And I know this firsthand. As the Executive Director of OAR of Arlington Alexander and Falls Church, we have significantly benefited from the support at ACFCU. That is why we nominated them this year for this award. OAR is one of their many supported causes. Like other community nonprofits, we know we can count on the staff at Arlington Community Federal Credit Union to be there for the many projects we host. Their support, along with the support of the community, has allowed OAR to be on the journey with individuals of all genders returning home from incarceration, support their families in the homecoming process, offer alternative sentencing options through community service to youth and adults, and confront and dismantle racism in the legal system and across all systems. When COVID-19 hit Arlington, ACFCU pivoted to serve the community in new ways. They quickly came out with their community support plan, which included $15,000 in donations to vital nonprofits, as well as layers of dedicated volunteerism. I am pleased to celebrate the work of the Arlington Community Federal Credit Union here tonight. Accepting the award on their behalf is their amazing President and CEO, Karen Rosales. Congratulations, and thank you all so much for what you do.
I'm honored to accept this award on behalf of our board, our members, our staff. We are so appreciative to both Volunteer Arlington and OAR for this generous nomination and for honoring us with this award. Now more than ever, community is so important. It's important to connect to the larger issues in our community, and Volunteer Arlington promotes a culture of volunteerism in our community and acts as a tremendous conduit to people and businesses and community issues, and we are very grateful for that and happy to, inspired to participate in that. I also want to thank OAR, Elizabeth Jones Valderrama, and her team for their gracious nomination. The mission of OAR resonates deeply with our staff. We have loved working with them on various programs over the years to support their clients and the family members of their clients. They do amazing work in our community, and we are proud to be one of their partners.
I also want to just talk a little bit about community and volunteerism and how that relates to our organization. The word community is our middle name. It's in our name, but it's one of our core values as well. It's something that resonates deeply with us. We hire for community. We look specifically for employees who put service before self and who practice a spirit of community in their lives. It's something that's really important to us, and to us being a community means operating as one body to support others who may be in need, and whether that be financial need or other community needs. It's just something that we're really passionate about, and it's who we are. So the fact that other people recognize our passion for making a difference and our passion for being there in many ways for our community is just a tremendous honor, and it only inspires all of us to do more and to keep going. So thank you to OAR, thank you to Volunteer Arlington, and thank you to everybody in our community that is so committed to volunteerism and making a difference. We appreciate you all. We're with you, and we always will be. Thank you.
Congratulations, Karen and team. You know, when they say that we're with you, they really do mean it. You see the credit union in the fabric of everything Arlington, and we really do appreciate all the work that they do in the community. A specific thanks, I know that we have appreciated the service leadership of Karen on the board of Leadership Center, as well as Hannah Dannenfelser with her work with the Volunteer Arlington Young Professional Advisory Council. Thank you all for being stellar examples of service in the community. All right, we have 2 awards remaining, and the next award is the Distinguished County Service Award. And here with us to present that award is Arlington County Board Member Christian Dorsey.
Thank you, Lisa. The last several months have tested us like we've never been tested before. And there will still be difficult times ahead. But our community has remained together despite being apart, because the ethos of civic engagement runs strong in Arlington County. You see it in how we facilitate engagement with our governing institutions. But this spirit is embodied by those who take action to improve their community, not motivated by any particular self-interest, but motivated instead by a desire to contribute to Arlington being an innovative and healthy, resilient, equitable, and caring community. The Distinguished County Service Award is given to an individual or to a group who through volunteerism has shown outstanding commitment and care to the citizens of Arlington County. This year's award goes to Bethany Zetcher Sutton. Bethany has been actively involved with the Randolph Elementary PTA for 9 years, serving as president and vice president for multiple terms during that time. Randolph, if you don't know, is a Title I International Baccalaureate Primary Years program, and it serves the Douglas Park neighborhood in South Arlington. Now, Randolph is unique and special within Arlington County. It's got that wonderful, innovative educational program. It's also the most culturally diverse elementary school that we have in the county. And it also has the highest number of families who attend who live in poverty in Arlington. Now, Bethany has worked tirelessly through the PTA to provide academic, literacy, athletic, and cultural and other opportunities to Randolph students, and to support families, and to also celebrate and support Randolph teachers and staff as well. And that was all before BC, before COVID. Since the pandemic has closed schools, Bethany has devoted even more time and energy to the Randolph community. She has worked with others to bring diverse partners from across the county and energize the school and the neighborhood by creating, leading, and championing a weekly outdoor food pantry program for Randolph families. Bethany, thank you so much for serving as a parent advocate for so many children, and not just your own.
I am so grateful for this recognition. As an 18-year resident of Arlington, I am proud to be part of this diverse, vibrant, and caring community. For the last 9 years, I've been a Randolph parent. Randolph is an International Baccalaureate, or IB, elementary school on Quincy Street just south of Columbia Pike in Douglas Park. Both of our daughters attended Randolph, and over time I have come to understand more fully what it means to be an IB school. The IB Primary Years program seeks to educate children to be global citizens and includes a strong emphasis on community service. At Randolph, students learn how to apply knowledge to problems, develop self-reflection, and take action to make the world a better place. I would love to share 2 things that I am proud of and which I think demonstrate the core values of what it means to be an IB school. 4 years ago, we created a new award to be given out by the PTA at Randolph at the 5th grade promotion in honor of a former PTA president who we lost to breast cancer. We created the Jennifer Luke Jackson Community Service Award to recognize a 5th grade student who had demonstrated the generosity of spirit that accompanies community service. Unlike many other student awards given out, the Community Service Award is not tied to the student's academic achievement, which often is measured by standards in K-12 education that are biased against children of color. We created the award specifically to be inclusive of all children and to recognize the kindness of heart and hopefulness that inspires community service. I also am very proud that the Randolph PTA became a leader this spring among the collaborative food assistance efforts that emerged in Arlington to support our community during the global pandemic. Nearly 75% of the children who attend Randolph come from families who are economically disadvantaged, and we felt an acute sense of responsibility to help care for them during a time when employment, rent, healthcare, safety, and security all were swirling into a state of crisis. Beginning with our first distribution of groceries on the 20th of March and continuing even now, we have provided food on a weekly basis, typically seeing between 150 and 170 families each week, and serving overall more than 265 families from our community. In addition to non-perishable food, we have been able to provide fresh fruit, cloth and disposable masks, school supplies, cleaning products, and even some prepared dinners. Our partners and supporters grew over the weeks and, as of early June, included Jamestown Elementary School, Williamsburg Middle School, the Northwest Arlington Lions Club, the Unitarian Universalist Church of Arlington, and Hungry Catering. We had the support of school board members, county board members, Arlington Public Schools, the Arlington County Police Department, the County Department of Human Services, the Arlington Community Corps, and the Cooperative for a Hunger-Free Arlington. Over the weeks, we have engaged nearly 75 volunteers who have worked tirelessly on behalf of our efforts. Finally, I want to give a shout out to Douglas Park. I am so deeply grateful to be part of this extraordinary neighborhood, and so proud to be an Arlingtonian, where the values of global citizenship and service that are so core to the IB mission at Randolph are also woven into the fabric of our community. It's my great hope that the children in our community grow up to value service, contribute to the greater good, and share their generous spirits with all of us. Thank you.
Congratulations, Bethany. It really has been a treat getting to know you the past few months, and we really do appreciate all the work that you've done. You know, as a parent, I've always appreciated PTAs, but I have to say I was absolutely blown away when I saw in the past few months the way that the Arlington PTAs came together to support all children in Arlington. Thank you for your work and for your leadership. Really quickly, let's take a look at the Fundometer. Wow, it just continues to grow, and it is amazing. Again, thank you all. Just a few a few opportunities to let you know about that. Fundometer will actually stay up on our website for the next 2 days. So if you're interested in giving post the event, please feel free to do so. And a real quick reminder of what to do if you're just now joining us and you'd like to support the Buy Neighbor Groceries program. All of the money will be going to buy gift cards for residents in need. All you have to do is text the number 970-840-9000. And within the line, you will put an ARL Cares and then a space, the amount that you would like to give, and then a space, and then your name. And if you'd like to do it in honor of anybody, please feel free to do that as well. Our last award is the Lifetime of Service Award. And I'd like to welcome Jennifer Endo from AHC Inc. to present that award.
The Lifetime of Service Award recognizes and celebrates an individual for whom volunteerism and service to others is a part of the fabric of their being. Whether through their organized volunteer work or through their pattern of consistently thinking of and acting on others' needs before their own, this person's life is an example of a life lived for the community. It's an honor to present this award to Han Nguyen for her many years of volunteer work with AHC Inc. I have had the pleasure of knowing Han for over 22 years. We worked at AHC Inc. for about 12 years before Han retired. Her gentle and generous spirit was always appreciated by her colleagues. Every one of us remembers her amazing Vietnamese cooking, which she happily shared at just about every staff occasion. Upon retirement, Han immediately began volunteering twice a week to distribute groceries to AHC residents. Before retiring, she also volunteered to cook meals for residents in one of AHC's affordable apartment communities. Han always has a smile for residents coming to pick up food. She takes the time to form connections with other volunteers and staff, and still often brings homemade food to share. She not only provides nurturing food for residents and families, Han nurtures their overall sense of well-being and dignity. Han is also proud to be an active volunteer at her Buddhist temple, frequently helping with day and funeral services and at weekend retreats. Once a month, she also distributes home-cooked meals to people experiencing homelessness in Washington, D.C. Volunteers are positive people, willing to serve others in the community. Han's dedication, humility, and willingness to do whatever is needed goes well beyond the typical volunteer and makes her an inspiration for all of us. I'm proud she's been my dear friend all of these years, and I'm grateful for the many ways she has enhanced the lives of countless AHC residents and others in the community. Please join me in celebrating Han Nguyen.
Hi everyone. Thank you very much for this award. I am one of the bold people who were lucky enough to arrive in the United States in 1979. After 30 years of working for AHC Inc., I retired 10 years ago and continue to volunteer with their programs. In addition, I have been volunteering for my temple for years. I wanted to volunteer in the community after retirement because I want to give back as a way to show my appreciation to the United States, my second home, to the other Americans who accept me and allowed me to have the freedom to live, to work, and to be happy. I volunteer at 3 AHC properties: Hunter Park, Woodbury Park, and the Frederick. I chose to volunteer with AHC because I wanted to serve the people in these communities and stay connected with my friends at AHC. Thank you to all my friends from AHC who nominate me and to Volunteer Arlington for choosing me for this award. This has truly been a wonderful moment in my life. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Han. It really is a wonderful moment in our lives to have you in our community. We're the lucky ones that you chose to join our country in 1979. I cannot think of a better way to wrap up our evening than celebrating Hunt. She is a shining example of beauty, of humility, and of selflessness, qualities that really do make for a great community. These are the values that we were built on. These are the values that sustain us, and these are the values that we must continue to strive for. As we move forward, let's remember the stories we celebrated tonight. Let's remember the impact that the selfless acts of kindness can make on a person, on a cause, or on a community. And let's remember the joy that we witnessed in each of our awardees. Service changes lives, and service changes us. Thanks for caring, Arlington.